Now, as you can clearly see, we have a Redditor here that has just received some Reddit gold. Poggers. Either way, welcome back, everybody. Sorry for being a little bit delayed here. Today, we're taking a look at the brand new, at least somewhat brand new, cross-out major changes for their brand new season. We have the third one and the fourth one here. I'm not sure if these are going to be the last or how long they're going on for, but I still thought it'd be fun to take a look at them. So let's take a look. So first things first, we have the Epic Rocket Launcher. Essentially, this is going to be a variation of the Nest one, where it still has the same mechanism where you lock onto somebody and you fire it. But instead of charging this, it's an instantaneous fire, and instead of doing traditional rocket damage, this one actually latches on and heats up parts. So basically a similar role fulfilled by like an aura or a gravistar. In that sense too, it also has another trick in which that the longer it actually flies, the more accurate and agile it becomes. So a lot of people will actually be able to hit these at a further distance, incentivizing more of a long distance approach, which kind of makes sense for a support rocket, because if this thing is not doing a whole lot of damage, yeah, you don't probably want to be close. Next thing, the legendary drone here, with this cunning device on the nose, you'll easily take your enemies by surprise. Ooh, how exciting. But it's actually pretty interesting. It's basically the Yao Guai, but instead of it being like a owl drone or a falcon drone where you're just sitting there shooting little peas off, trying to do a little bit of damage, this one just straight up dive bombs them and just face hug them for a little bit, trying to take off armor parts and then explode. So it's a bit of an interesting design here. It's a mixture between, say, a falcon and maybe like a phoenix in a way. So it's actually able to do a decent amount of damage, but it'll also depend on how easy it is to shoot off. Not to mention too, is the explosion radius on this going to be substantial? Does it penetrate? Things like that are going to need to be answered, but my guess is it'll probably be at least mildly interesting. But considering how ineffectual the Yao Guai and the Phoenix are, I don't think combining them necessarily is going to get you that really good of a performance. Next, after that, we do have the M37 Psa Customization Kit, which actually does look pretty jazzy here. Strange enough, reminds me a lot of a mixture between like a samurai sword and I guess something mixture of soldier from Overwatch. It kind of has that same color palette, but then for some reason someone just decided to strap on a bunch of X-Acto knives on the edge of this. So yeah, congratulations, I can go face hug someone with this. And then beyond that, they also gave us a new map for the arena mode here, which I guess looks like the... Actually, I can't really say what name this is because I don't think there's any name actually listed for this. It just says third map and the last map for the arena mode. What name is it? I don't know. But alright, cool. Looks like a lot like that fortress map that was recently redesigned here, but they just kind of, well, took out the fortress, I guess? Exotic. And this, we only have your favorite arena, I guess, confidant here, the custodian. I'm not really sure what he's custodian, but I'm pretty sure he's eating the people who have not won. But after that, we have the update full here, and we start off exactly with this nice legendary cabin here. So it comes from the Dawn's Children here. It will have a bit of an interesting perk in that it actually has a built-in recharge boost for all reloading weapons. So it'll be things like the Fafnir, junk bow, rockets, cannons, things like that. So it's a built-in 15%. And from what I understand, you can actually go ahead and stack that with other reloading perks too, so like the flywheel, or I don't think engines really count nowadays, but I guess maybe perks too that also kind of interact with that. But on top of that, if you also have weapons of different reload speeds, it actually will average them out. I'm not quite sure how it's going to calculate that. Is it also going to consider like energy into account, or is it just going to consider global cooldown time for both of them? So say, for example, you have an incredibly fast reloading weapon that costs very little energy, but a very heavy weapon that takes a very long time to reload. And if you actually just average those out, do you actually get a much shorter reload time, or does the reload time adjust based on the amount of energy? Because I feel like in order for it to be balanced, it has to be like that. But considering if you're mixing and matching weapons of that type already, instead of like adding in flywheels and other sort of utility perks and weapons, then maybe could be a reason for that, because at that point, you're kind of sacrificing a lot of your reload potential, but interesting nonetheless. I'm not really sure how this cabin's going to differ that much from something like, say, the Cerberus or any other cabin that can enhance reloading speed. But, alright, cool. I'm still thinking more people are still going to just use it as a medium to light cabin with a cheetah engine and just call it good, but who knows. And I'm actually curious, how does that compare with something like the Omnibox? Because I know the Omnibox itself also has the ability to enhance a reload speed. Yeah, so the Omnibox only does a maximum of 15% here, so I'm pretty sure it's the exact same in that case. So in this case, it might be somewhat comparable to that of the Omnibox, and it might have the same use case as the Omnibox, unless you have some type of mixing where you're using two different types of cannons or something like that. Maybe if like the lesser tier cannons have the same reload speed as higher tier cannons, maybe that won't be as useful. But I can definitely see this. Like if you pair this with like a Fat Man and say, I guess what else would that pair it with? I guess just some other fixed angle gun, would that actually average out the reload speeds on it? Because if that's the case, that might be pretty interesting, but we'll have to see how that pans out there. But definitely interesting cabin. Plus, I love the design of it. The nice angular aesthetics to it does look pretty jazzy. Downside, I think it most likely will be a medium cabin, but who knows? It looks like a pretty big boy, so it might be a large cabin. Beyond that, we have another angled looking cabin piece here. It's a CK for the humpback here, which honestly does look really cool. I do love this nice angular, almost militaristic aesthetic to it. Hopefully it doesn't have just a pure gray color palette here, but if it takes well to paint, then I guess it doesn't really matter too much. But CKs are CKs, and I do appreciate that. It's kind of unfortunate that they're doing it in this weird seasonal mode as opposed to just releasing it as basic CKs that you can purchase, but alright, why not? And then beyond that, we also have a brand new CK for the Quantum cabin that'll come out with the Season Pass here. Similar aesthetic, but now it kind of looks more like a Ace of Spades. I guess they're kind of going for a Joker-esque build or a cards build. Some way, I guess it kind of makes sense with the portrait here, somewhat. Same reds. But it also has that similar feature where it's looking very dull. But considering that usually in Crossout, the portraits are way duller than the actual image itself, it'll be interesting to see how that turns out. Because remember that CK for the Caucasus being green and kind of disgruntled looking, but then they actually changed it to make it a bit more colorful. And then again, a nice little portrait here. Some it looks like they would probably bite your dick off. But either way, I think that's everything here. So let me know what you guys think about this, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.